Hello,
Yes, audible,
am
sir.
I
Audible,
audible
sir.
to you?
Audible, sir.
Okay, let me carry on. So, if you will, I'm sorry for this intervention. Actually, there are so many problems here of regarding network and electricity, etc., etc. But I'm sure now, here onward, we will clearly understand this program. Thank you very much, sir. If we look at in the advancing scenario of the present world, we can understand the surrounding world within us. So, if we will see this, observe this at the macro level, we can see that all the things, values of the things are entirely changing as the time is going on. And in this way, what is the meaning of this education which we are taking, the education which we are imparting with the students, and the contribution that we are making for the society? This is again very questionable. In one side, this is the situation. On the other side, if we will look at in the advancing things in all around us, we can understand that everything, though it is beyond our limitations, we can get it in a short moment of time. We can we can get this by simply pushing a button in this age of information and technology. Whatever word we want to create before us, that is possible in this age of information and technology. But a question arises, are we really happy with this presentation? See presentation. Slide. 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 Okay. Are you hearing me, sir? Hello?
Yes. The slides are
Okay.
also visible. The
Sorry for
slides are
this
also visible, sir.
interruption. Sorry for this interruption. Okay. So I was talking about the present scenario, what is going on around us in the present scenario. So the question is, are we happy with our this life in this in the age of information and technology? If the answer is yes, then 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 a question is how happy we are. If the answer is not, if we are not happy, then what can be done better and for better and better? This topic, reprogram your mind, deals with the same problems. Nowadays, various programs are running all over the world regarding the enhancement of the people, enrichment of the knowledge, and advancement of the society. One of them is reprogram your mind. So before exactly coming to this topic, let me draw your attention to my previous lecture, which was totally meant for neuro-linguistic programming. In neuro-linguistic programming, as we have seen so many things regarding our mind, how we can empower our mind, how we can face any situation, and that theme of that whole was how to set our mind for any situation to do better and better. So today, this whole lecture deals with all these problems. And first of all, I will draw your kind attention to our past. Let us see the childhood. In the beginning of a baby who takes birth up to 1.5 to 2 years, we can see that he has plenty of neurons in his brain. But at the time, these neurons in multiple number are scattered, not connected. That is why he is not able to understand the logic, whether this is right or this is wrong. He has no this kind of idea because, in fact, he has no synaptic connections. But up to the age of 1.5 to 2 years, so many connections, synaptic connections, pathways are built in his mind. And his mind or brain slowly goes on up to 60% presentation. My figure, my signature. Okay. Oh, and we can see that up to the age of 1.5 to 2 years, his development of brain goes up to 60%. But as the baby goes from 2 years to 5 years, the development of his mind goes up to 90%. And up to age of 10 years, the development of his mind goes up to 95%. And at the end, up to the age of 11 and 12 years, his mind is developed 100%. What I'm going to emphasize here is, in fact, the synaptic connections or the paths or the neurocircuits are built in our mind, in our brain, up to the age of 12 years. It means whatever our behavior we are finding today is the consequence of the neuro connections, synaptic connections, which we have built up to the age of 12 years. And if something we have learned from 12 years up to this age as a new, then a little change was seen or is seen in our mind neurologically. Say, for example, some connections in our mind are built wrong up to the age of 12 years. But after that, there are so many opportunities we have got where we have good friends, good situations, good environment where we could really change some of our neuro connection, partly or partially. That was a chance. And in this way, under these all schemes today, this is our behavior. This behavior which is defining us, our language, our thinking, our emotions, and etc., responses, is the consequence of the totality of our past experiences. And this is our programming of the mind. But my question is, are you happy with these behaviors? Are you happy with these kinds of the responses we are about comments on any contestant like this. He has something well, but something wrong. But on the basis of this, he will go to the higher level or she will go to the higher level. Then the first jury member says or comments on any ex contestant like this. He says, you might have included this, you were not found good at this point, you were not suitable, or you were not found correct, we are mistaking here and so on. And then he says that though this was good in you, this you have done right, you have done this well, this you have done this, and in this way, he gave some 10 comments on the performance of that contestant. You will remember, here the first 3 comments were negative. You did not do this, you were not able to include this and this, and the 3 comments were negative. Though the remaining 7 comments were of high quality, high supportive. Are you hearing me, sir? Are you hearing me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Should I continue?
Yes.
Continue.
Okay. Now listen. So the second jury member says comments like this: you have done this well, you have included this, that is good, you have rightly presented this, these are 3 good qualities in him. And remaining 7, he said like this: as you want to reach that height, that level, therefore you must include these important things to improve your qualities. So here, this is totally a very important task of using the language. Please try to understand what I'm telling you about this meta model. According to this first jury member, the first 3 statements were negative. Remaining 7 were positive. But the outlook of the second jury member was having 3 positive first, and remaining 7 were promoting or motivating him toward the height. So this is a very interesting, very fantastic, charismatic, I can say, charismatic, wonderful scheme of using the words. This is the first way of meta model, experimental model. The second thing I'm telling you is cause and effect. Cause and effect. Say, for example, I say, this work, delivering the lecture, is the first priority in my life. What happens now? Because this is the first priority in my life, so certainly I will be more focused. I will be more concentrated towards this lecture. This is cause and effect example of the autogenic model. Then I will draw your attention to the next model, which is metaphor. Metaphor. We all know about metaphor, where our efficacy, our strength is compared with the nature. For example, on the performance of any person, we are saying like that, this performance is similar to the rising sun. This is again very unique kind of presentation. The hypnotic word I'm using here, this is metaphor. So in general, we use these kinds of the cinematic words in our everyday life so that our entire subconscious mind will be activated, or this will be reprogrammed. Here, in addition to this, we generally use, many times it was observed that and but word in English, we use about 5 to 10% in our daily life. I mean, out of 100 words, it has been observed that we use the words and but 5 to 10 times. So we can see how wonderful these two words are. So say, I'm taking here the case of any baby that might be in your home. So look at him or her. What we generally do with this baby, we do, please don't do this, leave this here and do this work. My question to you is he or he ready to do as according to you? Answer will be no. Because this is not the proper way of talking to him or her. What we should do is here, and as you are doing this work, you can do, and you can do this work. You can, of course, do this work as according to his interest or her interest. We are adding to him or her with ourselves by saying and then immediately we give him that work which we are expecting from him or her, harder work. Then immediately when he has come or she has come under our power, under our influence, then immediately we say, and you can also do this work. He will definitely reply, yes, I'm ready. This is the magic. This is wonderful. In this way, any child, any baby can be trapped, can be molded towards what we are desiring from him or her. Similarly, we can use the word but. But is also playing very important role in our life, which breaks so many boundaries to build a new construction, new ways in our life. For example, though there are so many problems in my life, this is the problem in my life, that is another problem, that is the series of problems in my life. But even then, I can do this work. I can handle this work. I'm able to handle this work. So this is really the application of the word but. This is all about the meta model. Now at last I would like to say that meta model is just like the process of integration, creativity, where from lower level to higher level we go. Now I come to Milton's model. In Milton model, actually it creates only the atmosphere for survival of any system, any body, any subconscious mind or unconscious mind. This only makes the environment for the activation or reprogramming of the subconscious mind. Now, it is a vague process, which clearly does not represent anything, but it makes the environment, such as a word I'm taking here, I'm using a sentence like this. My wife cooking food for me that is very tasty, that is important and useful for me. I'm not saying like that you have cooked better food or tasty food for me. I'm saying from which university or reputed institution did you get this kind of important training to cook food? What is this? We can understand. I do not touch here the intrinsic qualities, the specific qualities, but here I have made an atmosphere. Milton, it was Erickson Milton, who used this theory widely for about 10 lakhs people. He treated with this theory psychotherapy, known as psychotherapy, by giving so many examples, so many histories of the people, and then the patient who were suffering from various diseases were found in better positions. So I'm sure we can use this Milton method in order to reprogram our mind. Now here, the next model is Silva model. In Silva model, we will see that it was Silva who practiced for about 25 years continuously to understand or to study, to observe that which particular time we can reprogram our mind better. According to him, just before sleeping, going to the bed, or just after sleeping, leaving the bed, we all have alpha mind position in which our subconscious mind is working, but our conscious mind is a little used. And in that case, at the time, if we install, we register, or we program our mind, that directly goes to our subconscious mind. This is another very, very important way of reprogramming our mind. Swiss model. This is also important model in which we set the bolder, brighter, and bigger picture of the desired object in our mind, and the black and white image of the object we put away, means the undesired picture is deleted or it is put away, whereas the desired picture is put very close to us, close to our mind. As we can see, generally, it is done by taking and giving with our hands. When we want to get the brighter, bigger and bolder picture, as we are desiring that we can catch with the right hand side, like this, but which we are not requiring, which is not desired, that we can give with our left hand. Left and right, left and right. This is for taking and this is for giving. That is going away. This is coming to me. This is all about the Swiss pattern. And now, Pavlov model. Ivan Pavlov dog's experiment model. This was the experiment done by Ivan Pavlov. According to him, he had some 7 dogs as pet in his home. He used to give them food, and just before giving the food to them, he rang the bell. Means before providing food to them, the bell was started. This process was continued for some days, and at last it was found that there is some big connection between the salivation of the dog, the saliva that is coming from the tongue of the dogs, and the bell. As the bell rings, salivation occurs. There is a connection between the bell and salivation. Now, at the end, Pavlov did the same process. And now, in the day, He provided food to the dogs, and the bell was ringing. Likewise, the same process was repeated. But on this day, after the process was over, again he rang the bell, even after the dogs had eaten the food. He rang the bell, and he observed that still the dogs were having the salivation. Means whenever the bell rings, salivation is occurring in their tongues. There is a connection between the bell ringing and the salivation. This is a triggering of unique kind. This theory later on was defined as, we can say this was triggering theory, or this was also a prompting theory, compelling theory, motivating theory. There are so many names for this. This theory can be used for the important purposes, such as whenever we are not able to perform any duty with under any cause of fear, nervousness, or any reason before that, we can use this anchor or the triggering theory, anchoring theory. That is, just before that, we will remember the person, the things by which we always get the positive thoughts, positive sense, positive thinking in our mind. So when we remember the person from whom we can get the positive waves, we are sure now we will be able to understand, or we will be able to solve that problem rightly. This is all about Pavlov model, very interesting model. Nowadays, for especially the students, this theory is applicable. Now hereafter, I am describing the Denold Haves experiment model. This model is also known as fire together, wire together. Means, as we know, in our nervous system, in our brain, there are 6 trillion neurons, and each neuron is associated with synaptic connections with 5,000 neurons. So we can understand the total number of the paths or circuits, neurocircuits, or neuroconnections in our mind. We can understand this well. Now, according to this Haves model, whenever any stimuli, any information, any signal from the outer world enters into our inner world, that directly influences one neuron, first of all. Then that neuron gives the transmission to other neighboring neuron, and that second neuron transmit the same energy to the other third, and so on. The process goes on. And in this way, all the neurons in our mind are connected, which is called to be wired together. And because this is also having some significance, physical significance, so along with this connection wiring, there is some physical characteristic, physical phenomena, physical behavior, which is known as fire. It means when any information that enters into our neurological system to the first neuron, that entirely goes up to all of the neurons, and this is wiring, and same effect of this event, of this signal or this information is occurring in all the neurons, which is called to be firing. So it means all the neurons in our neurological system are bound with, fire together and wire together. Let us understand. Have we seen the moment in our life some of our brain is negative, but some remaining part of our brain is positive? Is it possible? In some part of our brain we are having sorrow, but in some other parts of our body we are having happiness. This is not. At one time, only one attribute, only one phenomena in our mind will exist. This is the theme of Have's model. So when we are happy, means entirely we are happy. When we are in some pain, we are hurt, means we are hurt. This is all about the Have's model. And now at the end, it is Emoto model. Emoto model is actually Marasu Emoto model, which stands for the glass experiment or model. Here, a Japanese, Marasu Emoto, took 7 glasses filled with pure water. To first glass filled with water, pure water, he raised some waves with peace mind, with positive intention, with positive emotions. To second glass of water, he projected the waves of jealousy. And third, anger. Fourth, unpleasant, and so on. He continued this process for 10 days. And after 10 days, he found that the crystals formed in different glasses were different. As far as the first glass of water is concerned, he observed that in the first glass, he found the beautiful crystal of water. In the second glass, third glass, and remaining glasses, he found different kind of the distorted crystals which were not suitable, which were not beautiful, deformed, deshaped. Crystals were formed which has no meaning. Same thing happens in our mind, in our body. As we know, our body has about 70% water. And if we are giving wrong or poor or bad installation or programming to our mind, certainly it will work accordingly, which will badly affect our body. But on the other hand, if we are projecting or programming or igniting our subconscious mind with the positive peace and desired better things, better thoughts, then we will find our body, our sense accordingly. This is very, very important model which we can apply in our life. So these are some 7 models. I'm sure if we will do these experiments, these models, we will put in actual behavior, we can change the tendency, the working, the profile of our subconscious mind in coming days. Now, I come to the next slide, that is modalities and submodalities. Though already a lot have been discussed by me in my previous seminar, which emphasize on how the mind works. The theme of this whole is we only set the desired image in our mind and let we go the undesired images from our mind through sub-modalities. This is the theme. All the things related to this have been already discussed. Now I come to the next slide, that is transformation of desired images. Here, through this, I want to draw your attention that this is the picture of our neurological system in which this information is coming to our mind, which is desired. And this is going away, which is not desired. Coming and going. Desired is coming and not desired is going out. This picture has three parts. Number one, color. Number two is sound. Number three is feeling. These all have come in our mind, in our brain. And these are creating our further emotions. And now here, the undesired, totally undesired things have gone, or likely to be finished. And this is the desired state of our mind, which grows up like this. This is a symbolic system. Now here, we will have some techniques of activating subconscious mind. We use some 6 or 7 techniques to activate or to ignite our subconscious mind, logical mind, as we can say. For example, as we throw anything upward, certainly it will come down. Whenever we make the sentences or statements like this, it directly goes to our subconscious mind. A repetitive method. If we are repeatedly installing something to our subconscious mind, it becomes very rigid there. Our behavior is often like that, and our subconscious mind is activated. We will see this example. When we were child, we were having A, B, C, D in English. That time it was really very difficult to learn A, B, C, D alphabets from A to Z. I took to learn these alphabets A to Z 2 months. But when I learned thereafter, easily we can speak or we can use this word. This has become possible because of repetitive methods. Repeatedly, we have installed this practice in our mind, and that is why we have got it. Repetitive method, hypnosis method. As we can see, Silva had observed that alpha state should be there when our subconscious mind is awakened, but our conscious mind is about to sleep. That is hypnosis process. Same thing we can do when we listen to anybody. We generally close our eyes, or when we are much focused to see any picture, that time our ears are closed. Means we are totally focused to our system, which is called to be hypnosis process. Now here, a strong feeling. Whenever we are in a strong feeling, that time the message or the suggestion directly goes to our subconscious mind. When we are having strong feelings. High authority order. This time, perhaps we are not, or sometimes we are not able to do some work. We suppose that now I'm tired, now I'm exhausted, or I don't have now time for further work due to certain reasons. But when immediately and orders comes from higher authority. Please wait. Some important authority, bigger authority is reaching there. Please wait for us. What happens? We immediately follow this. This is possible because of high authority order. So whenever we suggest our mind, we give command to our mind with high authoritative power, same thing happens with us. Now, urgent. If we are set, please go from here to 30 kilometers away from this. We will say, why? No, it is not possible. But when it is said that because you are to bring an important medicine for your friend from there, now what happens? This is urgent case. We will go there. Our subconscious mind is here activated. We will go there and we will get the medicine immediately as it is required. And in this way, this is the case of urgency when we can make our subconscious mind activated. So these are some cases of some techniques of activating subconscious mind. Perception of programming the mind. Perception really plays the dramatic, charismatic, cinematic role in our life. If we want to make our life fruitful all the time, full of energy, full of merriment, full of enjoyment, then perception is the most important or key part. Sir, are you hearing me?
Yes.
Sir?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Should I continue it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Perception is an intellectual process of transforming sensory stimuli to meaningful information. It is the process of interpreting something that we see or hear in our mind and use it to judge and give a verdict on situation, person and group, etc. Perception is the sensory experience of the world. It involves both recognizing environmental stimuli and actions in responses to these stimuli. Perception not only codes our experiences of the world around us, it also allows us to act within our environment. Stages of perception: sensory, stimulation, organization, interpretation, evaluation, and memory. For understanding this in a clear way, I can take some examples. Somebody who is nearby me hurts me in any way, give me pains in some ways, and goes from here, away from here. Now what happens here? Generally, what happens? Think upon this. He has gone. He has hurt us. So what we do then is try to understand this. We put ourselves in pain. We question to ourselves in so many ways. Why? What was the reason? And so on. And this process goes on. And perhaps a series of whys goes on. Endless processes there. And because of this, it is creating a burden on us, damaging our system. What is the answer then? What is the remedy then? What is the solution then? Here, or yes, before looking ahead, I want to give one more example. Or I hurt somebody in any way, in wrong way, by speaking in wrong way, by touching, by any way I have hurt somebody. So here, somebody is hurting me and I'm hurting somebody in any ways. So for both the purposes, we take here another eye, that is at some distance from me, we imagine this another I is standing there in front of me. And what is the role of that another I? The role of that another I is simply the perception, or it will perceive the things in a new way, as according to the desire, as according to the deem fits, as according to the our requirement. So what is his role is, what is the role of I is, he will interpret the things happening outward because of others on I, on me. This another I will interpret that statement, that heart, or some other things in a new way. It is a new way. It is new mind, mastermind, programmed mind. This interpretation is a new perception. What will that new I think? What will that new I do? That will say, that will nominate, that will give the name to this phenomena in a new way. He will say that I will say, oh, whatever he has done for me is very useful for my future, is a blessing for me, is the right, he gifted me a right way to look ahead, and so on. This is the interpretation. When next time the person will meet me, my first reaction will be not like that. If I would have not done this, my old reaction must be very aggressive, angerful, very not, I will hurt him. But now, as after making this mastermind, or programming this mind, what will my first reaction? My first reaction will be, oh, hello, loving, positive, and so on. Loving, caring, and I will attract him or he will attract me. Now, look at the second case where I've said, I've hurt somebody. In this process, another I will again help me. That another I will first of all be found very suitable, very peaceful, equilibrium, in a position of equilibrium, in silent and peace position. Then he will practice for this interpretation which is done by me. The hurt that was done by me now will be interpreted in the same situation in which already this has happened. Same situation we will build in our mind, and now this smooth mind, in a clear knowledge, we will react in nice way, as in desirable way, in a good way, like this. I can say, last time I said, you don't know how to stand here, but now I will say, please stand in a right way, because there are so many people standing behind you and me. Please be in the line. So this is the role of another I. So this another I behaves in two ways: from the outer world to inner world, and from inner world to outer world. This is very, very interesting kind of the interpretation for ourselves. Now, when this happens, our sensory are stimulated. We organize all these kinds of the stimulation, interpret them as according to them. Evaluation is good. Our memory power becomes much and more strong. And in this way, we can use another I in our present stressful life. to make our life better, happy with happiness, with wellness, and so on. This is all about perception for reprogramming the mind. Coding and decoding in reprogramming the mind. Actually, our mind works upon three major issues, major parts: past experiences, present informations, and belief system. When these are collected together, they are found in the form of thoughts. Then we reprogram them with the help of the previous methods as according to desired cinematic images, and then we can manifest them in our frontal lobe from where the required results are obtained. So basic thing behind this presentation is, in this slide I want to say is interpretation. For better interpretation, we have to have past experiences in sharing form, information in clear observed form, and belief system that should be strong. Then and then the coding and decoding can be made simultaneously for reprogramming the mind. Now, basically, we use affirmation and visualization, creative visualization. This I have already said in my previous lecture. But today, I want to give the reasons what happens when we have some positive affirmations, we have some meditations, we have some creative visualizations. What happens? Why these are necessary? What is the impact in our body in terms of chemistry? What happens? Though there are about 1130 biochemicals in our body and 977 biochemicals in our neurological system. But here I am using some of most important of them. These are dopamine, serotonin, and amygdala. Dopamine, it is also known as feel-good hormone. Dopamine is the neurotransmitter hormone that is an important part of our brain's reward system. When we say, please see it very carefully. This is a great part of our life, daily life. What happens with us when we go to some awkward place, which is not favorable, which is not matching with our personality? What generally we say, oh, this is very boring place. This is not very good. What happens? What is the reaction of this in our body, in our mind? That lessens, that decreases dopamines in us. And in this way, we cannot feel good. We cannot match. We cannot resonate with that environment, with that situation at the time. So whenever, first of all, we go to any place, whatever is the situation, whatever is the atmosphere, whatever is the surrounding, whatever is the geometry, topography. But first of all, we should say, oh, this is very comfortable for me. This is a pleasure for me. This is providing me happiness. This is the right place this time for me. Whenever we say, we give this kind of the command to our mind, subconscious mind like this, dopamine, which is responsible for feel good, is increased. And we enjoy the situation. We enjoy the environment. We enjoy the surrounding world. Perhaps we all will require this. So certainly these words can be used for creating, for increasing dopamine in us. Hereafter, serotonin. It is also called as 5-hydroxy-triplatinum. That is a monoamine neurotransmitter. Its biological function is complex and multifaceted. modulated mood, cognition, reward, learning, memory, and numerous physiological processes such as vomiting and vasoconstrictions. After going through this, we can see, look at this part: cognition, reward, learning, memory, mood, modulating mood. These are the parts of our wisdom. Our cognition means conscious mind. It means serotonin is directly related to our conscious mind. When serotonin is decreased, these all related things are decreased. Our mood, learning, reward, memory decreases. It means the question arises, how to increase the serotonin in us, means consciousness in us. For this purpose, we can use, this is related to the action, related to the phenomena, related to the execution of the work which we are doing, which we are carrying on. Performance, this is a part of serotonin. Our performance, our knowledge, our work, knowledge of the work, the quality of the work are greatly concerned with serotonin. So whenever we do any work, any kind of the work, whether this is known or unknown, partly, partially, whatever is the work that is given to us, we should treat it as gift. As a gift. When we treat this as a gift, a special gift, better to say, automatically serotonin is increased inside us. And hence, these related terms are increased. We will feel better. We will have some more knowledge, more connectivity, more empowerment, more memory we will have. We will recall our memory and so on, and the quality of our work production will be increased. It means before starting any work, once as a summary, as a theme, as a gift, we must treat this work as a booster in order to increase the serotonin inside us, which is responsible for all these related terms. And hereafter, I come to amygdala. Amygdala, it is recognized as a component of limbic system and is thought to play important role in emotions and behavior. It is best known for its role in processing memories of fear. Please repeat it. It is best known for its role in processing memories of fear. Fear means lack of experiences. Fear means lack of experiences. When we don't have enough or appropriate knowledge of any task, any work, we generally have the fear. And in that case, the amygdala is increased. When amygdala is increased, we certainly have the fear. So the question is how to reduce amygdala so that the fear can be overcome from us, that how we can get rid from this fear. This is a question. Only through reprogramming our mind. What is the right way to command our mind? This is the question. So, whenever we are having any piece of work, though we don't have the enough experience or knowledge of that work, we can install in our mind like this, or we can register in our mind, or we can give a command to our mind like this. I have done so many works of this kind before. Due to completion of this work, I will lead ahead. The people, great people, also did same kind of the work, so that they have got that right place, highest place in their work. Now what happens here? Certainly, the fear will be transferred into the confidence a little. A little, I'm saying. Repeatedly this should be done. Repeatedly this should be done. And now I'm saying that how this kind of the strong fear will be removed for this purpose. Suppose this time we are not confined to any work, we are free, we are having some time, then this time we can think of this kind of the tough works which we have done never in our mind before, which we have done never in our life. That tough work we can imagine in our mind, such as I went 10 kilometers on foot. This is my highest range. But now suppose the situations are so formed that I will have to go 15 kilometers on foot, suppose in future, or this kind of the work I am given. So today I must think tough work to do it, to complete it. When I'm thinking like that in my mind, that I can now travel, I can now move 11 feet, 12 feet, 13 feet, 14 feet, and so on. This is imagination in our mind. We are programming our mind. Due to this program, our mind is set. When we do this practically and regularly, our mind works accordingly. Then a day will come in our life when, even if we are given a tough work, very difficult work, but we will be able to handle this work. So this is the theme of these three important biochemicals in programming the mind. There are so many kinds of the other biochemicals, but here I have taken only three. Neuroplasticity, flexibility. Okay. Neuroplasticity is greatly used in our life. The first part of which is chemical neuroplasticity. The ability of the brain to conduct the flow of chemicals from one cell to another cells. Right? Chemical neuroplasticity. The conduction of the electricity or the messages, information, goes from one cell to another cells. Right? This is chemical neuroplasticity, and this conduction is obtained because of the biochemicals which we have already discussed. So if we are enjoying life, we are enthusiastic to do work, we are planful to do any work in any situation, then the right biochemicals may be set in our mind, which are enabling the right chemical neuroplasticity in us. Now here is structural neuroplasticity. Structural neuroplasticity. The brain's ability to actually change its physical structure as a result of learning. The structure of each cell, each neuron is changing. Question is, how this can be changed? By using this reprogramming the mind? Of course, this can be done. When we say, when we know ourselves better, when we emphasis on our abilities, on our resources which are inside us, when we talk to ourselves, when we understand ourselves, when we perceive ourselves, when we are aware of our capabilities, obviously the structure neuroplasticity will be increased. So please remember, when we do work upon us, a lot of energy we are setting to transplant our potential, to transplant various qualities in our inner world. This is structural neuroplasticity. Very, very important, very useful. And now here is functional neuroplasticity. The brain's ability to move functions from damaged area of the brain to another undamaged areas. Listen once again. The brain's ability to move functions from damaged areas of the brain to the other undamaged areas. Okay. As our age is increasing, we are in a position of citizenship. What happens? It is said that our neurons, our ability, our brain is now slowing its working. Means there are some damaged part in our neurosystem. Maybe there. This may used to happen. Okay, we are not denying it. Some part of our neurological system may be damaged. But if you are not working upon them, certainly a day will come when the number of the synaptic connections, rewiring and connections or path will be decreased, and we will be not found in a position to recall or to remember anything. We may forget even our names, the names of our family members, and so on. This is in order to save ourselves from this great loss. What we should do is, we should create new paths. New path in the sense, innovation, some new work, some different work. We have to start. Say, for example, I'm a professor of mathematics. I have got retired. Now, if I am working only in these limits, certainly I will have a few limitations of working. It means, which shows that some parts of our neurological system have been damaged. If I'm not working upon this, I will delimit my potential, my attributes of working, methodology, etc., etc. But I know that my remembering power, recalling power is weakening. Okay, that I have accepted. I have damaged, or there are some damaged areas in my neurological system. But what I'm doing is, I'm doing something new. I am doing something new, creative work, innovative work. By the virtue of this, a new brain, new areas of my brain, I am searching. I am enjoying this new synaptic connections I am making. Still, I am carrying on the working on this, and I am not speaking that I am becoming older and older. This depends our own mindset. Functional neuroplasticity works like this, innovation. So we will once again look at these one by one. Chemical neuroplasticity. This is a very much depending upon the enjoyment or merriment, whichever we have situations in our life, but if we are enjoying them, we are entertaining them, we are being influenced by them, we are treating them as a gift, certainly chemical neuroplasticity we will have in better position. If we are after some events, some works, maybe the work of 5 hours, 3 hours, 2 hours, 30 minutes, 10 hours, and so on. After that, we will take a break. And in that break, we will focus on our efficacy, our potential, our awakening powers, our resources, our positive things which we are doing, which we are increasing, which we are seeing all around us. Certainly, this will provide a better structure, neuroplasticity inside us. And for this functional neuroplasticity, we can start some new work, long life new work, which will provide the pleasure even in every moment in our life that is will be happening with us because of functional neuroplasticity. Right? Are you hearing me, sir?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. So, this is again very, very interesting. You will see that these are very, very unique and new things for us. Now, I come to the next slide, that is human master or programmed mind. Whenever we have the right program in our mind for any destination, for any goal, this becomes the position of our mind, fully activated, full of energy, fulfillment of energy, and fullness of energy. Everything is there. This is the position of our mastermind. Now, which is in a clear position to act any particular work in any field, in any arena of the life. So, hereafter, this is again very, very useful slide, cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. Through this slide, we will understand how the better relations in our life, in our family, with our neighbor, in our society, in our department, with other all, we can get in better position. How the relations can be made more effective, that I will try to tell you here through this cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. Look at any event that is happening in our daily life. Here, there are 5 things: activating event, belief, consequence, dispute, dysfunctional, or effect. Now look at a cup of tea is skipped by the wife and the husband is shouting at her. Generally, it used to happen. We shout at our children, wife at husband, and so on. This used to happen. I'm taking this example. This is the activating event. Now, what is our belief? Belief is a wife is saying, believing, he is discouraging me, insulting me, perhaps defaming me. He thinks, he believes like this. Now, what is the consequence? The consequence is she has now anger, full of anger, hatred, jealous, shaming, insulting, and full of grief. These are some attributes, emotional, bad or wrong emotions. Now, what is the dispute or dysfunctional? Confrontation will be there. Counter reaction will be there. Awkward situation will be there. And in this whole, the process will be convergent, narrow, monofactorial, thoughtful. Here, the whole process will be very conserved. This is dysfunctional. What will be the effect? The effect of this whole will weaken the relationship between the husband and wife. And this will be carried on for a long time. And what will be the last consequence? We better know. Sometimes this can throw ourselves even in depression and an anxiety. OCD, there are several problems. Psychosomatic disease can be had due to this very simple, very simple problem, easy problem, small problem, a big building of wrong beliefs, wrong relations, weak relations can be had. This is the key point. Now, what is the remedy? How to tackle this? How to solve this problem? We are facing with this problem every day in our life. How to tackle, how to understand this in a better way. Now, the new, I take here D part, that is dispute or dysfunctional part. The work is to be done upon it. The emphasis should be had on this D point. What is to be done? Now here, the process should be not the convergent. That should be divergent. Broad, multifactorial, realistic and standard. Lot of agencies in the world are doing the work upon it. Statistics, datas, on the basis of statistics and datas, the work is being done in this direction. Which particular remedy, solution for this particular event can be had? Which is the best solution, best fit for this? The work is being done by the several agency on this. So, if the new thought is divergent, broad, multifactorial, realistic, and standard, say for example, we can say, the husband can say, this used to happen, this also can be similar work can be also done by me in wrong way. I mean, this mistake I can also do. Perhaps she was busy in some other works. Perhaps she is overburdened due to the family works, and so on. Better result, better interpretation. As a new thought, as a divergent, broad, multifactorial, realistic, and standard thought can be set in our mind. Now, what happens when we set this thought in our mind? Certainly, our potential, our subconscious mind will catch it, will reprogram it, will manage the necessary evidence to prove this, will search new resources to prove this, and new mental set will be had. The consequence will be, now activating event will be, see this at part A part, no shouting and empathetic, no shouting will be there. And our expression will be empathetic, compassion, empathetic. I will put myself in place of her. And the whole scenario will be changed. The same mistake I also can do. This is empathy. The whole things are changed. When this activating event is like this, now belief system will be no discouraging, no insulting, no defaming. And the consequence will be no anger, no hatred, no jealousy, no no shaming, or no grief will be there. Previously, it was dispute or dysfunctional. Now, there will be no confrontation, no counter reaction, no awkward situation will be there, and only the positive situation we will get there. Positive thought will be there, and hence it will build the strong relationship between the husband and wife. In this way, any weakening relation can be strengthened through this cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. This theory can be used for several purposes, in several ways. So this is emerging area which can really give us so many benefits in our life in order to empower us, in order to sharpen our talents, our wits, in order to prove ourselves true in any field. Psycho, neuro, immunology, that is PNI. This is one of the part of psychosomatic disease. During this pandemic, COVID-19, for about 18 years back, this is very, very important to understand what is happening with us in this pandemic scenario. Psycho-neuroimmunology is the study of interaction between psychological processes, nervous and immune system of the human body. The basic concept of PNI is a concept that the mind and body are inseparable. It follows that stress affects the body's ability to resist diseases. PNI has gained greater acceptance in the scientific community. The finding that emotional state can affect immunity has been an important one, and research in this area helps us to gain a clear understanding of stress and its effect on health. Please see this very carefully. Here, a little mathematics we are using. Stress is equal to pressure upon resilience. Pressure upon resilience. What is this resilience? Flexibility. The adaptability. When we are able to adapt any situation, in other words, we can say, when we can create a resonance with any situation, we can match, we can tune ourselves as according to the situation, environment, surrounding, then we will be set in a position of resonance or resilience. Resilience means flexibility, adaptability. So if we are now see on this fraction, stress is pressure upon flexibility, adaptability, or resilience. Suppose a message is coming from outside immediately, and we are sitting here about 30 people. Message is one for all, but our stress level, our reaction is different. Why? Because this is depending upon resilience. If resilience is very high, means we can match with any situation. We can understand, we can match, we can recognize, we can accept, we can behave, we can mold, we can diffuse, we can understand any situation. This is the meaning of resilience. We are good in this, we are high in this, then whatever is the pressure. Suppose pressure is of degree 10, and resilience is of resilience is high, suppose 50. We are, or I am, more resilient. I have adaptivity power, that is 50, or flexibility power is 50, which is high. Maybe higher than this, maybe lower than that, but for me it is supposed 50. Pressure is 10 for all. Resilience power for me is 50. For others, maybe more than 50, but for some, it may be less than 50. Now see the fraction. Stress level is 10 upon 50. That is 1 upon 5. If I am increasing my stress level, my resilience level is 3, 10. The denominator in this fraction is decreasing, suppose, is becoming less than 50, that is 40, 30, 10, 5, 3. Certainly, this fraction will be increased. Stress level will be increased. But if in case, for some people who are more resilient, who can struggle, who can fight, who can live, who can adapt any situation, their mindset is so strong that they can work in every situation, any situation. Certainly, here resilience power is high, maybe 90 or 100. Pressure is still the same. So the fraction in this case will be stress is 10 upon 100, that is 1 upon 10, which is the least. In this way, the stress level can be minimized through this optimizing technique. Optimizing technique in the sense to increase the resilience power, and this can be higher and higher and higher through our regular practices gradually. Sir, are you hearing me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Carry on, sir. Yes, sir.
Carry on. Okay. Next. Flow chart of evolution and body health. Evolution and body health. Knowledge provides attitude, experience, network, emotion, peptide created in hypothalamus, understanding signals set to cell, wisdom, number of the receptor sites on cell, evolution, expression of DNA, genes, expression, proteins, and expression of life. So this indicates that the evolution of our life mainly depends upon the expression of genes, DNA, protein, and this expression of life. See, if we are happy, we are enjoying our life happily, we are always feeling motivated due to all the reasons all around us, then expression of life will be better and better. And hence, evolution will be taking place in our life. So, it should be noticed very carefully that if we want to evolve our life, we want to find the evolution in our life, the expression of life should be increased. Expression, what is the meaning of expression? We have already got the potential. Some right direction is to be provided to this potential, so as along with this potential, the right direction can be used and the maximum distance in a very short period can be achieved. This is the expression of life. Please, as a summary, I want to say that we have, if we are asked, what is this life? How will you transform your life, first of all, and then others' life? So the answer may be like this. We all have the potentials, educate enough, but the right, appropriate, exact, clear instructions, directions are to be provided to this potential. If this is possible in terms of mind science, neuro-linguistic programming, I want to say, when we collaborate, when we mingle the conscious and unconscious mind together, certainly the potential is rightly activated with the help of education, knowledge, and consciousness. Means the consciousness that we are having in this present scenario of the advancing world is like a uprooted plant, uprooted flower, uprooted plant. And we all have the present scenario we are treating just like we are having the uprooted trees, uprooted various trees, various plants, so many plants as the information from outside. Unless or until we are not transplanting these uprooted trees, plants in a wetland that is inside us, that is our subconscious mind, it is not possible to find the evolution of life, right expression of life. Therefore, I would like to finally highlight here that we all have resources, we all have potential, we all have everything provided by the nature. Now we have to work only upon how to use this potential through all the experiences of life, how to make it better and better approachable, accessible, so as better coordination between the knowledge and the potential can be had. When these two are working together simultaneously, a lot of expressions, better expressions we will have in our life. I'm sure by this message you will be getting right way. Now, some psychosomatic diseases. Psychosomatic diseases. Psychosomatic, soma means body, psycho means mind, body disease. How from the bad thinking the disease comes in the body, right? There are so many reasons, there are so many things, but due to the lack of time, here I am mentioning something, how the diseases affect our body parts due to wrong or weak emotions. What is the relationship between emotions and body parts of our body? Body parts. Angriness affects liver, muscles, and tissues. See once again, look at the persons in the society around you who are angry all the time. Generally, they have the problem of liver, muscles are not well, tissues are not working well. So, this problem is created by the angriness. Grief creates damage lungs, affect the lungs. Worries affect the stomach. Stress affect the heart and brain. Fear affect the kidney. Hatred affects the skin. Jealousy affects the heart, and so on. Here is a small list I am providing you. A brief, a summary type of the list I am giving you. So please see. Psychosomatic. In my previous lecture, I said in a report of WHO says of few years back, that is the report of few years back, that about 90% people are suffering from some diseases. And out of them, 80% people are only suffering from psychosomatic disease. This is very important. We should be very careful, aware of this, how our thinking pattern, how our behavior, how our thinking messages which are providing to our brain is effectively working for our body. This is a little effort I have made here to try. A little effort I have tried to tell you. Okay. This is another very, very important slide. This is useful to read other people's who are just in front of us. They may be listeners whenever you are delivering lecture, dealing with the people, dealing with the students, dealing with some people, your family members, society members. Whenever you talk to them, what happens? Have you observed this? If not, then see. When we say about the past in terms of visual construction, say for example, I say, please remember, some times back, you have seen a temple. This had happened in past through my eyes. Means this is a visual construction in past. You will find, observe that the eyes, both of the eyes will go up in the right direction, in the left direction, in the left direction. Move a little in upward direction, left. But when we talk about future, suppose or imagine tomorrow you are going to deliver a lecture to such and such people. You are seeing this in your mind, a planning that is based on seeing that will be had in future. Now what happens here? Our both of the eyes will move a little upward in right direction, in right direction. So future is for right portion and past is for left portion, upward direction. This is all about the visual construction. Now let us talk about the auditory construction. Sound. Past. Do you know when your headmaster or your teacher or anybody spoke to you, you are very good in English. Or your mother, your father said, very good, son, very good. That is sound of the past. Here, our both of the eyes will move towards left, neither upward nor downward, as such in left direction. This has been shown here. But when we talk about future, in future, tomorrow, when he will ask me a question, I will answer the question like this. My sound will be this. This will be my sound. Tomorrow or day after tomorrow, in future. Now, the eyes will slightly move towards right at the same level of eyes. Now here, kinesthetic, feeling. Consider, imagine the feeling when you said, oh, very good, this is very interesting, I'm getting the pleasure, oh, this is giving me pleasure. Either you saw a scene, you took a bath in summer in a cold water or like that in past. Now both of the eyes will come down, will move down in left direction. But now in future, tomorrow, when I will be given this award, when I will receive this award, I will feel pleasure tomorrow or the day after tomorrow in future. This is a feeling. Now here, our eyes will bend downward a little in right hand direction. And if now, in addition to this, if any picture we are given to any calculation of mathematics, any question of mathematics depending upon digits is given to us, then certainly our eyes will again move downward in right hand direction, and so on. In this way, through these programs, we can understand the people just in front of us whenever we are talking to them, whenever we are speaking to them, communicating to them through our verbal or non-verbal languages, we can understand them. Their attention, are they well concerned to us? Are they much full of rapport with us, congruent with us, mirroring with us or not? This can be easily observed. Especially, this is very, very important for the teachers in the classrooms. Usefulness of the programming the mind, achieving goals, overcome the problems, building self-confidence, get rid from the bad habits, elimination of fear and phobia, creating rapport and strong relationship, personality dynamics. These are some important books for this reprogram your mind. Thank you. Good evening. Stay safe. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Professor Negi, for your thought-provoking, inspiring, motivating talk. You have done a great effort for presenting your talk. And in your entire talk, you have given the conceptual clarification of reprogramming the subconscious mind. You have taken different experimental models, some techniques and perception of activating and modifying and reprogramming the mind for a meaningful and desired situation of life, and also to create a strong human relationship. Sir, in your program, in your lecture, you have shown how reprogramming is nothing but a way of perceiving the things in a new way. It's a way of looking at the things. It's a kind of rethinking. It's a movement from outer world to the inner world, from the outer mind to the inner mind, towards an innovation which can break the series of the problems of life. Sir, as you have said, reprogramming is also like rewriting the software of the mind, which can reset our mind in every situation, in every life situation. And with this, may I request Professor Dr. K. Omnaran Rao to carry on the interactive session.
Namaskar everybody, and thank you Dr. Kailas Mana sir for giving this responsibility of moderating the interaction session. But I don't see any question in the chat box. But if somebody is interested to make an observation or has a question in mind, they are free to unmute themselves and make a suggestion or make an observation or ask a question. So it is open. Anybody having anything in mind, they are open to make unmute. We have Ranjit Ghosh sir. Yes, he is unmuted. Yes, sir. Carry on, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Rao. We are all thankful to Dr. Negi for giving such a detailed exposition of reprogramming our mind. Now, one thing, I have two clarifications and one question. And the clarification is this, that in the reprogramming of mind, we are actually including the unconscious into subconscious. As you have said, that only 7% is conscious and 93% is subconscious. So the psychoanalytic theory of unconscious is doesn't come under, is coming under the subconscious, as you have referred. Now the thing is, the dream experience, as the psychoanalytic philosophy, psychoanalysis gives wider interpretation of dreams, etc. So, do you think that your reprogramming will also include that? This is one thing. And the most important thing which I have got from your deliberation is going into from I to another I. So I think the entire discussion centers around that, because if I want to reprogram my mind, then I have to go from this I of me to another I. And for this, here our philosophy psychologically, as per the explanation of psychology, it is all right. But here at this point, from this standpoint of philosophy, we raise the question of the presence of others. When the question of when I pass from I to another I, what will be the role of the other here? I think you have clarified this to some extent when you have given the explanation of the cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. That means in CBT, you will definitely require the presence of others. Okay, so how do you respond to this? From I to another I, actually from inner to the outer and vice versa, from outer to the inner. Actually, this is the sum and substance of your entire reprogramming of the mind. And if we can do that, then it is, we can say that we can change ourselves. This is my observation. Please.
Unmute yourself, sir. Professor Negi, please unmute yourself. Professor Negi, please unmute yourself. You are not audible. Sir, you are not audible. Professor Negi.
Sir, put on the microphone, sir. Sir, just click the microphone. No, sir, not audible. Put on the microphone. Switch on, sir. Switch on. Touch the microphone button, sir. Touch the microphone button on the screen. Sir, touch the microphone button on the screen. Yes,
Hello?
sir. Yes, sir. Now audible, sir. Now audible.
Okay. Sir, in this connection, I would like to say that when we move from left eye to right eye, it means we are going from past to future. First of all the experiences which we are having are existing in the present, and then we are implementing these experiences for the future plans. Means if something has happened in our life, that is this time that is coming in our mind, that is a picturization has been done in our mind, and now for the future purposes, how to do it. When we implement this for the future, certainly the moment of our eyes will be towards right hand. Future is for right hand, and for the past we have the left hand side, means left portion. So if we are moving from left eye to right eye, means we are transforming the energy from left eye to right eye, means from past to future.
Sir, actually proper.
Outer. Okay. That we are talking actually anything. It is a part of physics. Now physics says that as light behaves in two ways, particle and waves. So particle is the body and wave is the abstract. Same thing we apply here. Any thought which is abstract is changed into materialistic form. Any idea that first of all comes in our mind as a thought, as a picture, as an image, and then this is converted into the practical in outer world, where we get the materialistic change. Effects is seen in outer world. Same thing happens here. When something happens in our life that comes in our mind, or something is inside us that is created in outer world. That is a connection of inner and outer world. When we talk about the other eye, actually this is inside us. In the cortical form, cortex brain is there. We have so many mappings or so many files inside our brain, inside our cortex brain. And a few of them on the basis of priority at certain time, on the basis of priority, we take some of them for these purposes. And only those files, those pictures, those images we are able to get, which are in the surfaces. And only those images are in the surfaces, which we are repeatedly doing, which are very close to us. That is inside us. So it means we are creating our inner worlds that appears in outer world, that we are creating inside us in terms of the structure, images, mastermind, whatever name we can call for this. That is there. That is a standard form. That is the desired form. We make it better and better time to time for our great purposes. When this exists inside, automatically it behaves in outside. It is a connection. Whenever any idea of making of building any building or construct any building or to do any piece of work that comes in real world, but before that comes in our mind. It means this is a big connection between the images that we set in our mind to manifest it in real world. So this is created or word of perception, or the word of interpretation, whatever interpretation we are getting, that we implement it out the outer world. By the way,
Sir, do
Yes.
you suggest then that
Yes.
from the passage from eye to another eye, we do not require the presence of others? We can
Sir?
only. Do you suggest that from the in a passage from eye to another eye, there is no requirement of the presence of other?
it is there. It should be
Myself,
there.
I can change.
Yes,
myself.
because you see, yes, I am telling like this. If we have an idea of the past tense, of the past, we want to project it in future or present or in near future. Okay, sir? Suppose that experience of the past is just like the torch. Just like the torch. Okay? We are the torch wearer. And the future is the curtain. If the curtain is absent, how can we get the light? How can we get the image? It is not possible. It means a curtain should be there. Curtain means future, maybe just future, immediate future, future in proximity, near proximity, but there should be some future. So maybe near future, but there should be future as a curtain upon which that picture will be picturized. So there is a connection between the past and future. Okay, sir?
Outer eye does it mean that our relation between our reflection and our behavior?
Reflection and behavior.
Behavior. Do you know
Okay.
that? Okay.
Both are the same.
Yes. What I reflect, that is my inner eye,
Yes,
and how I behave after that.
both are the same because our eyes are so
That is
sensitive.
outer eye.
Right eye, yes, outer eye.
Yes.
Outer eye is so sensitive, so sensitive that even can work due to a very, very, very small reason, a small effect. So this is the totality of all the motivating forces inside, which is finally resulted into a single force, that is sensitivity, that is shown through our eyes. That is why it is said that eye are most important, most powerful, sensitive organ of our body. Okay, sir?
Sir, one thing.
Yes.
The problem is this, that if it is self-regulated, then what is the necessity of again bringing this CBT? Because CBT is referring to the presence of others. I am talking about that. If it is, if I can regulate myself and I can transform myself, it is self-transferatory.
Yeah.
Then in that case, what will be the role of the other in this sort of transformation? In your CBT, you have referred to certain situations where we require our interpersonal relationship.
Okay, okay.
In those cases, the presence of others are there. So, in this case, going from I to another I, definitely the presence of others is required.
Is required.
Yes.
Though that is not physically present, that may be for a blind person, but he's trying his transformation of energy is from left to right. Though he's blind with right eye, right, sir? But the stimulation is there, still there. Process is there. Think of a blind person who does not have both of the eyes. The activity is there, thinking power is there, imagination is there, and that is he is creating the outer world inside him.
Yes. What I could, thank you, sir. Thank you. What I could get from the question of Dr. Ghosh and response by Professor Negi is one thing that is clear, that cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, is a self-help therapy. It is not based on somebody other. It is self-help therapy.
Yes.
Even it is purely a self-help therapy. And the second thing, the other eye is not a different eye. It is the same eye. It is the reprogrammed eye.
Yes.
In me,
Inside us.
which I am trying to move. The desired eye. It's the reprogrammed eye. So the other eye is not a distinct eye. It's not a different eye from myself. So other eye is the same eye reprogrammed in the later time. That is the desired end. It is all about the reprogramming of the mind. So other eye is not a different eye. It is the
Yes.
same eye reprogrammed.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Professor Negi. Thank you, Professor Ghosh, for raising this question. Now I don't see, I see a question by Srabani Misra, but I think Professor Negi has tried to answer this, how to make the mind positive. But through the entire lecture, one thing that I got, two things especially I got from him is adaptability. Whatever the situation may be, you need to adapt. So adaptability is one of the important features wherein even the negative element, the negative situations turn positive. So when he has given the equation, stress is equal to pressure by resilience or adaptability. So more important is the adaptability here. The more you adapt, the more you are stress free. So even the negative situations will become positive. But still I have this question, leaving this question to Negi. But one more thing, let me tell from the question of Srabani Misra, even the biochemicals that Professor Negi has suggested, that also can reprogram the mind in numerous ways. Even the psychologists and even many doctors do recommend these medicines to improve the reprogram the mind. So thank you very much, Negi sir. But still, if you have anything more to say on this, please reflect on this. How to be in a negative situation, how to feel positive. Professor Negi.
Yeah.
In a negative situation, how to feel positive. You are in a negative situation, you are in a negative circumstance, your mind is somehow negative, but how to reprogram the mind so that it becomes positive. Well, your entire
Okay.
lecture was based on that.
Okay. So, should I speak?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So see, suppose any have this favorable situation or awkward situation or bad situation, whichever name we can give to it, is occurred in front of us, all around us. So first thing, for reprogramming the mind for better result, positive result, is as such, accept it. Because if we are not accepting it, the number of the choices, number of the resources inside us will be not changed. It will remain the same. And hence, our intelligence power, decision-making power will remain the same. When we accept any situation, due to many of the biochemicals, our power, our efficacy, our excellence, etc., is increased. Even that is also responsible for creating new pattern for a while, for a small time, immediately inside us. That is also not, though it is not very permanent, but it is set there. When we are accepting it, the process is like that. The power of mind is increased a little. See, for example, we are in a crowd, right? And we are among the crowd. We are given 3 rupees or 5 rupees. If in place of that, we are given as an award 10 rupees or 100 rupees. What would be the difference? The difference can be seen easily. Means our mind has such power that if we are accepting that bigger, higher level difficulty situation, it manages it. It manages it. Again, I'm saying manages it. It has so much power that it can manage it. So whenever this used to happen, we first accept it. Then accepting it, our intelligence power increases a little. And then we can see in that situation, which is containing several attributes, several quality, several things, several parameters, different kind, some known, some unknown, maybe only one known. 99 unknown are there because this is awkward situation. So I will look at only at the situation which is similar to me, which is congenial to me, which is similar to me, and then which is known to me, then I will make an adjustment between that one quality and myself, and I will get the chance to enter into that world of situation by simply raising a small step inside it. And then I will sometime after repeating this process, I can handle the situation in a right way. Because now my efficacy, my intelligence, my way of using potential, I have got. So this is the way by which ultimately we can transfer the negative situation into the positive situation, which really takes some time. It is not the work of short period, it takes some more time.
Excuse me, sir. There is
Yes.
one thing. When you are giving this flow chart of evolution,
Okay.
then including wisdom in it, there will be a problem because
Okay.
you see, our wisdoms are overshadowed by our knowledge. and knowledges are overshadowed by our informations. So in that case, how can we bring wisdom as is it an evolute of that flowchart, or it is what is the necessity of including wisdom there?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Actually, knowledge is the collection of information that is good. Whichever informations we are getting is the knowledge. But knowledge is different from experience. I'm talking about experience and then evolution. Experience is required. Experience is not learned. It is practically done. Experience. It comes in our practical behavior. So when that knowledge is converted into the practical, so it comes in practical way, practical behavior, that become experience. And that experience is enough for evolution.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And one thing sir, one thing, excuse me, one thing. Actually, the information is only dealing with consciousness, IQ. But when we experience this at our level best, for any purpose, great purpose, this becomes our emotional intelligence, and emotional intelligence is 8 times greater than IQ. So that is required.
Thank you, Professor Negi, for very nicely answering last 2 questions. So the message from you is, whatever may be the situation, accept, adapt, manage, slowly move up, and your intelligence level will slowly rise up, and slowly you will feel positive. That's how you can convert from a negative situation to a positive way of life. As regarding Professor Dr. Ghosh's question, you said that information must be translated to knowledge first, and this knowledge, having a knowledge but not living by that knowledge, would be partial. So that knowledge has to be applied. Only those who apply that knowledge in their real lives, they will set foot on the path to wisdom. They are the real people. Having knowledge is not enough. So we have to live. That knowledge has to be lived. That has to be practically applied. It is only then one can evolve themselves, one can evolve himself in the path towards wisdom. So thank you very much, sir, for your very nice responses. I also thank the question raisers for being so good in raising questions, important questions. So I thank everybody. I request Kailas Mahana sir to add anything, or should we go on with vote of thanks? Kailas Mahana sir. Well, he's not there. It's the last task to propose a vote of thanks.
Okay, actually, sir, it's now time to wind up the session. We have no time. Please propose a hearty vote of thanks to Professor Negi and other participants that present here, and then wind up the session.
Thank you, Dr. Mahana. So at first, I would like to thank Professor D.S. Negi sir for being so clear, so lucid in his presentation. It is a lecture that is more or less connected with his last lecture, and he has very nicely affirmed of how to be positive in all the life situations. So it is a new area that we in philosophy are coming across. We can apply this in our life situations to feel better, to do good, to do things in a better way. So it is a technique that he has really helped us to how to overcome fear by giving the equation stress is equal to pressure by resilience or adaptability. The more you are adaptable to a situation, the more you are stress-free. So adaptability from the entire lecture, the one thing that I could get is the message is adapt. Whatever may be the situation, adapt. If you are adapting, you are stress-free. So that is the great message that we have from him this day, and we can accordingly, once you adapt, your mind automatically will move in the direction of reprogramming itself in a better way and making you feel good. So thank you very much, sir, for your nice lecture. But one request from my side is, basing on your last lecture and this lecture, please give an article. Please